Hey YouTubers, it's Platt here, and today I want to review Traveler's Forbidden Apple Ale from the Traveler Brewery Company. You've probably seen a lot of their commercials out now, and they kind of have hipsters with mustaches and funny dogs or whatever, and I noticed they're gaining popularity, so I want to check out the brand. Doing a little research, I find out that they're a joint venture with the Boston Beer Company. Now, they're based in Vermont, but they contract out their brewing. I believe their main brewing facility is in Cincinnati, Ohio. This happens a lot in the industry. You'll see products with the name and a marketing program, they'll say based somewhere else, but they're really brewed in another place. A good example of this is Sky Vodka. The company's based in San Francisco, but they contract out their distilling in Kentucky. Now, Travelers produces a line of fruit beers. All of them come in at 4.4% alcohol, so all of them would be considered what you call a session beer. This particular one, the Apple Ale, is a wheat beer brewed with a hint of apple. So let's give it a try. That's nice. It's only got a subtle hint of apple, but it's a nice little wheat beer. You can tell it's refreshing. The carbonation is good. When I poured it out, there was a good hit on it. If you're expecting an apple cider, you will be sorely disappointed. This is a wheat beer with a touch of apple. You can tell by the cloudiness, it says the cloudiness of a classic wheat-style beer. I am not going to say that's the greatest apple beer, ale, cider type I've ever had, but very solid, very drinkable. Let me take one more sip. I need that sip because I want to talk to you about a serious subject. This is to all my hospitality brethren. I've been doing a little research lately and reading a few articles about a growing anti-tipping agenda there in America. This stems from obviously a few reasons. First and foremost, there's a lot of cheap asses out there. Second, a lot of people will feign concern for the working man or single mom that has to wait tables. But instead of them actively participating, i.e. giving a good tip, they'll say, well, I want that restaurant owner to pay you a decent wage because I don't want a tip. Also, you have it used as kind of a front to organize or unionize restaurant labor. There's a group out there called Restaurant Opportunity Center that is supposedly big in the New York area, and they're pushing for a new wage adjustment for hospitality people as a guise to unionize restaurants. That's up to you. Right? I'm not here to discuss unions. I'm here to discuss anti-tipping. Now, the problem we've had in the past, I think, is as tipped employees in a tip business, we haven't explained how this works. I think the average American out there still thinks we get paid a regular minimum wage and not the lower minimum wage that most people in the tipped employees in the U.S. get paid. I also don't think the average person understands that we get taxed for those tips. I think a lot of people think bartending and waiting is somehow just slightly less shady than a professional gambler. Folks, those tips we make get taxed. Trust me. Most people, especially if you work in a major hotel or any chain, sign what's called a tip share agreement, and it's basically a deal with the devil with the IRS saying, don't audit me, I will agree to the tax rate you put on my supposed tip taxes. What you need to tell people when you're discussing this with your guests, friends, neighbors, what have you, is that even if we don't get tipped, we're getting taxed. Uncle Sam is not letting us get away with anything. Somehow we're being equated to something like Al-Qaeda and money laundering, and that is far from the truth. If people really want to fix this issue, we do have to address it on a couple levels. Either A, get rid of the taxing of tips. If we're not getting taxed on a tip, then it's less of an issue if I get it or don't get it. Also, we do need to probably adjust that minimum wage. The idea that if I'm digging ditches, I get a regular pay. If I'm bartending, well, you only get $2.13 an hour. And these restaurants that cry in poverty needs to slow down. Now, that being said, it also needs to be explained to people who think, again, well, the restaurant will make up the difference, or that bar will make up the difference. I won't have it coming out of my pocket. Folks, it will come out of your pocket. That beer that's $4.75 now will be a $6 beer before you know it. That $8.99 cheeseburger will be a $10.99 cheeseburger before you know it. That's just the way. So, encourage people to think of it like this. Either I could pay you directly, or I pay the company and they kind of skim off their little profit and it kind of floats through. Also, last but not least, please remind people that this is America. And there's a little thing called capitalism. And if you want to encourage a certain behavior or a better treatment or quality care service, then the financial incentive will always work. If they want to see what it's like to get service from a place where there's no financial incentive, tell them to go to Walmart or their DMV and see how that works out. I hope my fellow hospitality brethren will take this as a chance to kind of research a topic and be aware that it's out there, and be also proactive in talking to other people outside our business and letting them know that we're not getting away with anything and we're not becoming millionaires with just piles of cash. All right, after that, I need another drink. Well, hope you like this video. And as always, please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bottoms up.